Трансляция запущена, ебаный в рот. У нас 0 зрителей. Да и мы сами не особо-то зримы. Так. Нет. А, я про другой подумал.
Какой цвет хочешь?
Не знаю. Надо белый поставить. Или самый яркий, какой вообще есть. Что так, ебальник не
Да
подсвечивается.
это не ради этого. Просто
Включи, пожалуйста, трансляцию.
ты мне скинул.
Ну, а кто еще?
Я говорю, ты мне скинул? Я говорю, ты
Нет,
мне скинул.
Ты сказал, ты мне скинул.
Нет, я сказала, ты мне скинул.
Не. Все отлично.
Я срежу.
Несколько секунд. Все как положено. Все, вырубай. Вырубай. Так. Ну чё? Сейчас я что-нибудь светленькое просто поставлю на второй монитор. Или красненькое, как у нас повелось ранее. Мордашку свою покажешь в кадре.
У тебя это хорошо видно.
Угу.
Давай я просто буду голосом. Хочешь?
А я буду руками.
Хорошо.
И нет, это не фамилия японского композитора. Ну чё?
За ваше здоровье. Дзынь.
Быдыщ. Так. Мы начинаем заново, если что.
Да, конечно, я ничего не знаю. Я помню только, что начало меня повеселило.
Да, оно будет смешно, я уверен. И во второй раз тоже. Итак. Все? Поиграли, блядь. Нет, причем все корректно вроде происходит. Просто что-то оно.
Ну, привидение.
Стоп, а где звук-то, блядь? Сейчас. А! Дошло. Дошло. Он же по умолчанию ставит устройство, которое не надо. О. Так. Я даже не знаю, куда это. Диалоги будут типа справа все. Ну, в плане того, что как это видно будет. Что? Давай. Их надо ставить, блядь.
Ну, внизу они же все будут, да? Диалоги.
Справа. Вот
Справа.
тут, вот тут, вот.
Ну, ладно. Посмотрим там какой-нибудь.
Нет, продолжить для нас неинтересно. Подожди. А можно удалить просто?
Ну,
Итак, давай подумаем, за кого мы хотим играть. Мы невероятно умные, плохо в общении с людьми, знают много интересных фактов, мыслить нестандартно.
короче, Шелдон.
Имеет развитые психологические способности, обаятельный, но неуравновешенный, может начать терять рассудок. Отлично развит физически, взаимодействует с окружающим миром, использует свое тело, исполнительный, но тупой. Или создать своего персонажа.
Давай посмотрим, как можно создать.
Ну ты понимаешь, что там кастомизация будет на уровне
Я
очков.
не понимаю. Ну, давай посмотрим.
Очков типа интеллект, вот, потому что это же ДНД, это же РПГшка.
Я понимаю.
Вот.
А, вот всего 4. Да. Ладно, давай назад тогда просто. Ну, или первое, или второе. Не, давай первый. Мы же в тот раз, по-моему, первый.
Ну, ладно. Ты не думай про первый раз. Ты думай про это. как по кайфу сделать. Ладно, поехали.
О,
Демоны ярости живут в зеркалах, они здесь как дома. Даже в самой прозрачной воде можно утонуть, если это вода, блядь. Ну ладно, начинаем.
There is nothing, only warm primordial blackness. Your conscious ferments in it, no larger than a single grain of malt. You don't have to do anything anymore.
Говори как-то, сигнал посылай.
Продолжить. Блин, что же выбрать? Ты ж-
Ever.
Ну, подожди.
Но это заводиться может. Я поэтому сделал не так громко.
Не важно.
Never, ever.
Просто не существовать дальше.
An inordinate amount of time passes. It is utterly void of struggle. No ex-wives are contained within it.
Кого больше?
An awareness creeps up on you. A mass lies hidden in your dead angle, soaking in some lurid acidic sauce. It's bloated and shameful, a ball of meat surrounding you. This is a terrible line of questioning, and it will only lead to more awareness.
Но на
of
самом
the
видео
meat
звук нормальный.
thing.
Нормализованный, да.
Возможно, обратно, безумно будет.
There, no ball of meat, no light in the formless nothing. Just night swimming. Coming right up, sir. Smooth passage.
А как это? Это же на французском, да? Алёнс.
Вот я и не знаю.
Первое.
All right, nothing down to fuck all borough.
Тебе прям больше всего нравится.
Давай третий.
Not you. Your days of giving a shit and being that type of animal are over.
Первое.
The song of
Игра
death
закончится.
is sweet and endless. But what is this? Somewhere in the
Нет,
soul,
видимо, нет.
bloated man meet around you.
Было бы за-
A sensation. Like a fly to the ointment, your conscience sticks to it. The limbed and headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is firing up again. It wants to walk the desert, hurting,
Второе, блин.
longing, dancing to disco.
The stench of liquor rises from your mouth, and with it, an ungodly headache.
Первое.
A fiery streak penetrates your skull, trying to force your eyes open. It's a sound, a
Никогда не было
clarion
такого.
call from hell.
Просто недостаточно много пила. Похмелье бывает очень жестким.
Somehow you know what it is. A caprice to name a motor carriage.
Хорошо.
Ну, тот раз он называемый.
Я не помню.
This fan has two chain pull switches. One ends in a tiny fan, the other in a light bulb. A truly horrific necktie has somehow attached itself to one of the blades.
Им нужно сначала остановить вентилятор как-то, да?
Ну давай потянем за вентилятор.
Ну, пусть за лампочку.
Серьезно.
Я не
The
знаю.
blades come squeaking to a halt.
Ну,
It
не,
should
ну
be
вообще.
easier to reach the tie now.
Когда останавливают эту штуку, там не за вентилятор тянут, а за такую.
Там цепочка.
Цепочка, да.
Ну так там и написано было. Свисают два выключателя цепочки. Можем еще раз потянуть за вентилятор, если
Не
хочешь.
надо.
You swoop up and catch the tie. Snap. It's released from the blade.
Хорошо.
What you have in your hand is a truly hideous necktie with 4 or 5 different patterns. The knot reminds you of a noose.
Что за вентилятор?
The switch must be broken because nothing happens. The air in the room is starting to feel like vaporized.
Картинка. Слева снизу.
Давай тогда сейчас мы наши вещи соберем.
You hear a jingle. Keys are clinking in the pocket of your flare-cut pants. It says "whirling in rags" on the aluminium keyring. There is a single key on the
Тогда
ring.
так должно
The
быть.
number 1 is etched on it. It should open the door.
Ой, я же совсем забыл.
Ну, это ретро.
Да потому что рубрика, бля.
Ну, это же не ретро-игра.
Ну рубрика-то ретро.
Ну, рубрику тогда.
У нас их и так, блядь, миллион. Так вот.
Давай.
The Whirling in Rags is a hostel cafeteria on the urban coast, frequented by dock workers.
Не знаю. Да, обуемся, бля.
The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in.
Визуальный анализ.
The shards face outward. Whatever broke this window came from the inside. A fine web of scarring covers the back of your right hand, but none of it is recent. More likely a projectile than a held object. There are no fragments on the floor from pulling a tool back in after impact.
Снизь размер дыры.
It is too large for a bullet, yet too small for a piece of furniture. You're looking for something heavy and larger than your fist. Like the green shoe that's on the hat rack in the corner, which, coincidentally, is missing its friend. Congratulations. You smashed the window with your own shoe. Now you only have one. If you're lucky, you can still find the other on the balcony outside. The door to it should be outside your room.
Второе.
A cool wind gushes in. Your toes curl up from the cold.
Погоди, если у нас единственный вариант ответа, просто говори ага или что-нибудь в этом духе.
Хорошо, ладно. А вот в катушку вот в эту, которую крутится, можно засунуть то, что пленку, которую мы взяли?
Мы не пленку взяли, а пустую катушку.
А,
Потому что она размоталась, как ем собачью. Отлично сигналил. Блять, эти маленькие детальки, это, конечно, да. Жиза, да. Блять.
A mirror hangs above a bent and broken sink. In a fierce discharge of masculine energy, someone has ripped half the faucet off.
Он уже с гарью.
не, вроде уже.
Was this not the same Elo that founds empires and lays waste to cities, virile, uncaring towards the little things? Probably not, no. Hot water sprays from the faucet's base, and steam covers the mirror. You cannot see yourself, just the vague impression of a man. Suddenly, you realize you have no memory of the face that awaits you there, underneath the soft vapor. As you slowly reach your hand towards the surface of the mirror, abort. You clearly have not thought this through. You won't like what you see there, and you will never unbecome it.
Сперва щупать.
Yeah, there is definitely something wrong with it.
Что ненормально?
Where to even begin? There is the bloatedness, then the swollenness. It's like there's an upholstery of alcohol underneath your skin.
Вот теперь претензия.
Behold. You have no idea who this thing is, do you?
Это лицо, я поняла.
Too late. You clearly have rigor mortis on your face. Oh wait, is that an expression? Are you trying to make an expression with that face? Why?
Она сама порчится.
Please stop. It's horrible. You're scaring yourself.
Нет.
You can't, can you? It's like it's not even voluntary anymore. You have worn that grin into your face, and now it won't come off. What does it even mean? What is the emotion you're trying to convey?
Не описуемо. Что ты?
Нет, я даю тебе выбирать.
Ну, ладно.
Так
You
интересно.
should check yourself for a pulse, because from here it looks like a cadaverous spasm.
Не хочу знать.
Good call. Go ahead and try something if you like. Or, stop staring into the mirror.
Ну, давай. Я не знаю. Давай рискнем энциклопедию.
Вот это.
Да.
Просто тут два варианта.
Ну,
Хорошо.
энциклопедия электрохимия, говорю, энциклопедия.
Like the rest of you, it comes from a bad place somewhere in the past. That's all you know for now.
Ладно, был попить.
Прежде чем тут дверь открывать.
А вон дверь.
Блять.
Сколько?
Пойди. Туда что за дверь? Нет, почему-то она не зелененьким, а беленьким подсвечивается. Эта штучка. Пойдем.
Ну, толкнусь сначала. Нам бы водичку, наверное. Так.
О! Ботиночник!
There they both are, two identical shoes, both copiously green and indiscriminately snakeskin, reunited on your feet, like two baby crocodiles.
Я вот здесь могу.
Go ahead, just as long as you don't discard those crocodile babies.
Так, что будем делать?
Ну, обследуем.
Hello, officer.
The young woman raises a cigarette to her lips. Her eyes are brown and her face is speckled with birthmarks. She can't be more than 28. A silver jumpsuit falls off her like scale armor, sparkling. This is the sparkle of too many nights out on the city.
Первое.
No.
Второе.
Because you're a police officer, sir.
Догоните.
I'm not. Unless you've been shitting us all this time. You've been here for 3 days. On official police business, no less. Couldn't say. In truth, so far, mostly drinking.
You have no doubt about the drinking. But do you strike yourself as a tight-lipped drunk? She must have heard something.
Ну, первое давай.
She nods.
Первое.
There's a mercenary out back. He's been hanged. The body has been there for a week now. Locals probably got tired of it and called the cops. I didn't mean to overwhelm you with information. You seem a bit lost, officer.
Пятое.
Of course. Be careful, officer. They don't like the police around here.
Something stirs in you as she's about to go. Call it an instinct, a need. The need to ask questions. It's like you. She looks back at you, a light glinting off her eyes.
Пара вопросов.
Yes?
Чем место не угодно находится?
The The dock workers are pretty cocky. They think they're police enough. At least here on the coast. I can't say about the rest of the city.
Ваш номер недалеко от меня.
There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music. I couldn't say. It's impossible to hear people speaking from over here.
Вам понравилось?
Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestration prime among them.
Oh, that. Yeah. Whoa. The less said about OO, the better.
OO were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course. Like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on.
Ага, держимся.
I don't know about that. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped. A slow, sad song started playing. Like organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Some of the time, you were yelling along to it.
Первое.
Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church. Like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. It was about that. And also,
Что еще?
that it doesn't matter anymore and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a winded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what you were singing on top of it. Then you started screaming and trashed the place.
Вы уверены, что на меня не нападают?
No, it didn't sound like there was a fight. It sounded like someone was trashing their room. The window was smashed. The tape player, probably. The song stopped. And furniture, too. A real destructathon. There was screaming. Then I think you passed out.
Второе.
There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I may have misheard, but it was sort of memorable. I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then, around 4 or 5. And that was it.
Можете идти.
М? Мгм.
Можете?
Glad to have been of assistance.
Будем до нее доебываться? Или не будем?
Ну, пока не надо. Не вижу, где он.
Он справа.
You should totally sing karaoke here, the first chance you get. Your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know your vast, oceanic soul.
Точный кубометраж.
Of course, at this point, precise measurements of your soul can only be performed from the outside. It needs to be through a PA system. By other people.
Закончу смысл.
Симулятор загонов, блядь.
A man in his late 20s stands behind the counter, inspecting a stuffed seabird. As you approach, he gives you a sideways glance, then looks down again. Everything is cool between you and this guy. He's a big fan. Make some small talk.
Смотреть на чучело.
A competent work of taxidermy. The white and brown seabird lies among piles of coasters and drying mugs. One of its wings broken. The man is trying to mend it. Looks like the bird was ripped off the shield that was used to mount it. This is the great skua. The seabird is the symbol for the discovery of the Insulindian Isola, the part of the world you are in right now. The small steel tag says as much. The great skua. Stegoarius skua.
Помочь тебе как-то?
Look, your buddy is over there. Why don't you go and talk to him, okay?
В смысле, приятно.
He pretends not to hear you, concentrating on the bird instead.
Заебёмся?
Ну, я бы доебался.
Давай.
No, I'm not the bartender. I'm the cafeteria manager.
He's very animated all of a sudden. This seems like a touchy subject.
Не знаю, мне просто все это смешно.
Чё ранее?
I have 3 cafeterias to manage. 3. Sylvie tends the bar here, not me. I'm only standing in.
Мне напоминает соседа
Какого соседа?
девушки Шелдона. Ой, нет, не девушки Шелдона, а
Я
девушки...
понял того самого. Да, я понял.
Да.
She just, you know.
His eyes dart from left to right. This man isn't lying,
Она просто
but he
что?
is.
So now you're a cop. Oh, forget it.
Просто.
Hello, sweetie. You shouldn't keep your colleague waiting.
A bespectacled man in an orange bomber jacket is tapping his foot on the floor. Looks like he's waiting for someone. You. As you approach, he narrows his eyes and extends his hand in greeting. On the sleeve of his bomber jacket, as well as on its back, are the same enigmatic white rectangles as on your blazer.
Hello. I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Precinct 57. You must be from the 41st.
You realize he's waiting for your name.
Давай концептуализацию.
Concentration makes you squint your eyes. Your name should be deep gold and orange, like a forest fire looming on the horizon, but mixed with the stench of liquor rising from your breath. You're 2 steps closer to it, but there are still many to go.
Сейчас еще не пробил, блядь.
It looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday too, actually. Have you had time to talk to the manager here?
What he means is, he has been trying to meet up with you for 2 days, but you have been otherwise occupied.
Нет.
Then we should ask him for a rundown of the area. Get me up to speed. I understand the scene is out back, right? It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you mapped out the initial interviews?
Нет.
Okay, we'll have time for that after we take a look at the coroner's case. Have you removed the dead body from the tree?
Нет.
So, the body is still in the tree, where it has
Там
been
должны быть
hanging for
точки.
7 days
С
straight.
каждого слова.
We should go there as soon as we are done talking to the owner.
выдвинули.
After you, officer.
If you're about to embark on an investigation, shouldn't you have a badge?
Да.
You mean you don't have a badge?
Притвориться, что нашел.
Oh, if you didn't have your badge, then that would be very bad. You would need to report it on my shortwave. But since you do have it, we can go straight to the task at hand.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is now in your party. You can talk to him whenever by interacting with him.
К этому.
К бармену. До свидания. Ну, давай допросим, да?
The man with the unimpressive beard notices you approaching. He drops the ledger he was holding and turns to the lieutenant.
Mr. Gart, right? You run this place.
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41?
Промолчать.
Right. Now, I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene. It also took you a while to call us and report the dead body. It was you who placed the call, yes?
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie who called you. She usually works the bar here. I'm only temporarily taking over.
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
This sounds like something you can use to call this Sylvie later.
You said you just got here. From where? Are you a local?
What, of Martinez? No, I live in Jamrock. I only sometimes come here to keep an eye on the place. This is just one of the many, many cafeterias I manage.
But you still know your way around, yes? In case we need directions.
Yes, I know where some things are, but as I said, I don't live here. I just used to work here. And I'm not going to start working here again, if that's what you think.
I didn't imply that. Detective.
He probably means this is where you step in and ask your questions.
Ну, вопросы. Сейчас все будет.
His face expresses profound doubt in your having this. Ask him about the body's location before asking if he killed him. People give up information in the more innocuous questions, which you can later use in the more sinister ones, not vice versa.
Почему Сильвия не здесь?
Haven't you asked me that already? What is it with you and this woman? She has nothing to do with this.
Первое.
Okay, you got me. She went away because of the dead body out back. And because I asked for her number. That's why Sylvie went away. I hope you...
Thank you.
Ого, тут два варианта.
Не пошло у вас, да?
I asked an employee out. She didn't want to come, but felt obliged to. It was a bad idea. Now, what is so goddamn fascinating about that for you? It's got nothing to do with the lynching.
Все связано со всем.
Это, блядь, понимаешь, вот эти вот две концовки, это как анекдот, блядь, какой-то из категории Б.
Good for you. Was there something else? I'd like to get back to what I was doing.
И у меня все, блядь.
Let's go.
Not so fast. You owe me 130 real.
Давай обсудим.
Что такое реал? Да?
Ну, что выберем? Хочешь первое?
Ну, я поприкидывался
Ну,
долбоёбом.
давай.
Oh, excuse me. You owe me 130 real.
The IIR, or Inter-Isolary Real, is the global reserve currency. Whatever part of the world you're in right now, it's safe to assume he means you owe him some money.
Давай первое, короче.
No, you don't owe me street cred. You owe me money. You owe this establishment 130 real.
Давай про деньги, короче.
Тут одно охуительнее другого. Вот это, да?
What are you, a
Нет,
philosopher?
арестован надо было, ладно.
Раскрываю тайну, я у Эмиральда как раз это видео хотел пересмотреть. Ну где Робокоп всех арестовывает?
Я даже забыла про него, давай пересмотрим.
Давай, блядь.
Можем на паузе.
Вообще это возможно. Нихуя тут рофы, прости ты. Ну что?
Ну что, стопим? Стопим?
Money
Давай.
is what grown-up people use to pay for things. Things like this hostel room, or 8 bottles of potent blend, and 9 packs of Royal Extra. We use it for everything, really.
Блять.
Так, чё думаешь? Что самое рофильное?
Давай, учитывая, чтобы экспедиция.
Давай.
Yes, it is.
Там 0,4 было.
No, you see, that's 40 cents. Cents are a form of currency 100 times smaller than the real. I'm not even
Так они
going to take
потеряны,
this.
алло.
Come back when you have 130 real.
Ну это ж ужасно.
Да.
It is.
Isn't it even? The order of magnitude between what is asked of a person and what they have.
Я просто второй раз читаю, прости. Некоторые предложения какие-то чуть-чуть сложные для меня.
Это все разные части, как бы сознания их генерируют, потому что.
Что? Почему? Ладно, давайте попить.
It does, doesn't it?
There's a shuffle of nylon as Lieutenant Kitsuragi looks for something in the pockets of his orange bomber.
Потопим.
Ну он же вроде перечислил, ну давай.
Let's
Я
see.
думала, ты
3
арестован.
nights at a tariff of 20 real comes to 60 real. Then there's the window you annihilated. The hole in the window was the first thing I saw when I came to work. So don't try to tell me you didn't. That will be 40 real in damage. Another thing you've annihilated is half the bar. You've run a tab of 30 real. Actually more, but we'll round it down to 30 for your hard work
Блин,
maintaining
всё
the
это
stability and order
слышит
of
его.
Revachol. That's 60 plus 40 plus 30 equals 130 real. And yes, real
Это
is
же
still
классно,
money.
блядь.
Ну, мне третий тоже нравится, но я не знаю. Давай четвертый, ладно.
I'm sorry, but he has to pay.
Третий в конце.
I can't let him stay here any longer if he doesn't. If he doesn't have the money by tonight, then
Officer, maybe you're better off working this from home for now. You live in Jamrock, right? It's not that far away.
Я не помню.
Officer, you really need to take this up with your station. I have a shortwave radio in my car. Call them, ask for assistance. We have to get this investigation started now.
good luck.
By the way, where is home? The address is coming up blank, and this place sure isn't. But you've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. Where were you before? You had to be somewhere.
Пара-па-па-пам-па-па-пам. Ну, мем на коне. Из рекламы про Акс. Ту-ду-ду-ду. Ой, не Акса. Да.
Да, не могу насвистеть, но понял.
А, к югу отсюда.
You don't really know, do you?
Люди смутлы. Да.
A vague, blackened image doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money.
Давай первое все-таки.
You can try. Run some addresses in your head when you get the time. Maybe a street or an apartment will appear.
А куда? Если что, мы в любой момент с Кимом можем говорить.
Вы с кем?
Yes?
Исследую, значит, я ничего не помню.
No response. He just arches his brow. He's having trouble processing it, believing it even.
Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affairs?
Так, ладно, это мы к этому вернемся.
Не знаю. А тут ты знаешь, что есть какой-то уровень улучшения отношений?
Я абсолютно не в курсе, Зай. Я же не люблю спойлеры, так что я не в курсе, что тут происходит.
Ладно, он наш помощник.
Коллега.
Коллега, пусть нам поможет. Третий.
Fine. We should get through this day first. Off hours begin at 9 p.m. If you're still having trouble then, I can give you an orientation.
Понял.
Focus on other people's troubles, not your own. That is a relief.
A moment passes. The lieutenant glances at the sports watch on his wrist.
Да ничего, ладно. Пойдем на структуру посмотрим.
Просто даже наличие этих вариантов,
The
блядь.
theme on that pinball machine is a standard royalist theme, used on everything from pinball cabinets to full flavor cigarettes. Clinging to a picture book version of the past century, waiting for the king to come back and cast out all the profiteers and homosexuals. Basically, imagine a yellow plastic crown with a liquor brand emblazoned on it.
Ничего не понимаю, но тут первый.
Он увидел вот это и рассуждает об
Я
этом.
понимаю, но я не понимаю, какой король. Если король, это же игровой автомат. Или это игровой
Ну,
автомат?
ты читаешь?
Ага. Ага. Хорошо, ладно. Первый.
It comes free with a six-pack of vermilion Roy d'Or. The words Roy d'Or are stamped into the crown's plastic.
Давай уже добьем первый.
The sentiment is called anti-centennial nostalgia, pining for a time before the turn of the century.
У него энциклопедические типа просто знания, они ему покоя не дают. Ну, вот это интересно, что это такое. Я не знаю, что будет, если нажать усвоить.
Ну, ладно. То есть он теперь знает.
Нет, он об этом пассивно думает, если я правильно понимаю. И ему это даст потом бонус к энциклопедическим знаниям. Так, что-то тут оказалось новое.
The RCM in Martinez. What can I help you with?
Давай в другой раз. Сначала посмотрим на твой.
Угу.
Ну и на мелкие детали.
Так, мы карету сейчас будем сообщать по рации, что у нас удостоверение потеряно или нет. Я понял.
Я помню, что он был наверху. Почему-то я помню, что
An
меня
old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center.
Давай потом. Не, нам вот сюда нужно.
Да, я помню. Все по пути протыкиваю.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic.
Давай попробуем сначала протыкать то, что не связано с гостями, короче. Но только не второе.
Hard to say. Your vision is blurred and you're having difficulty concentrating thanks to your relentless
Давай
hangover.
визуальный анализ.
The tire tracks were left here by an unknown event that took place some days ago. It's a message written in the language of burnt rubber. Some of that rubber stuck to the tiles right in front of the whirling in rags. This and then accelerated straight into the fence. The driver proceeded to back out of the yard, barely stopping before hitting the adjacent building. Before heading south. Must have been in a hurry.
Связано с делом?
I'm not sure. There are plenty of traffic accidents waiting to happen in Martinez. With the jam right here on the roundabout, I would keep them.
You could follow the track south. There seems to be a canal there. See where they went, if you find the time. There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have walked here. Heavy workers' boots with reinforced toes and hobnails all over the yard. Isn't this something an industrial worker would wear?
Визуальный анализ.
Despair creeps into you, getting fat on your weakness. Whatever noble intentions you once had as a police officer, you're still coming up with sentences. That's a step up from total annihilation, right?
Ну, у нас провалилась попытка анализа, а урон мы получаем в виде того, что мы теряем самообладание.
I don't dispute that you have been charged with protecting the people of a particularly challenging district. But poverty.
Nothing you can say would make you feel any better now.
Проиграли, получается.
Cop gives up the detective genre for social realism. Another police officer resigned from the RCM following a nervous breakdown. He now lives under a bridge, drinking and occasionally throwing excrement at passers-by, shouting, "I never loved that woman." When asked to comment, former colleagues objected to the theory that his psychological disintegration was precipitated by his wife leaving him. It's because the Furrows
Нам
lost
нельзя
that match,
пока что,
said
по крайней
Captain
мере,
Ptolemy
ошибаться.
Price, once the man's superior officer.
Но мы
It's
никогда не
because
знаем,
he couldn't get a
в
big
какой
gun
момент
from
это произойдет.
acquisitions, and anyway, police work really burns you out after a while. Satellite officer Jean-Vic Mayer, the deranged former cop's partner, commented. Sergeant Matt Torson, another former colleague,
Заебался
did
вот и
not
все,
propose
да.
any theories, merely saying, whatever happened to him wasn't about birds. He got fucked, that's all.
Блин, мы еще никого-то не описали.
Вот я не знаю, мы сейчас узнаем.
The theme on that pinball machine is a stand clinging to a picture book version. It comes free with a six-pack of Vermilion
Было при
Roy
выходе
d'Or.
уже.
The words Roy d'Or, the sentiment is called.
Блин, перед каждой проверкой может сохраняться. Сейчас я восстановлюсь, точно потому что...
Если я
Yes.
разговариваю, мы с ней не в итоге не поговорим.
Сейчас я убедюсь.
The
Я не помню.
RCM.
Да. А, и кстати, у нас эта штука не появилась.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic.
Она появилась возле пикульного автомата.
No, these tracks are not interesting at all. Let
Можно
the
еще раз
street sweeper
попробовать,
just sweep them away.
загрузившись.
Что за машина? Поехала.
Hard to say. Your vision is blurred and you're having difficulty constantly.
Ну, что-то вот тут он мне нравится.
Ну, там было что-то влияющее на это. Или это, опять же, случайность. Мы можем проверить.
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anyway, heavy worker's boots, isn't this something an industrial worker would wear?
Ну, да, нет, нет, да.
Maybe more than 12. No. 8 pairs of boots have shuffled back and forth in the mud. 1. Standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 46. 2. Standard work boot, steel reinforced toes, number 3. Hobnailed work boot, steel reinforced toes. 4. Standard work boot, number 45 or 46. You don't know. It's a miracle you can tell the prints apart as it is. The cold must have preserved. 5. Another standard work boot, steel reinforced toes. 6. An aberration, light as air, even pace, impossible to tell. Could also have been an adolescent. The gait is undeveloped. You're not bad. It's as if the whole world darkens. Everything else has a thin film of unimportance on it. And the 7. The glowing outline of a standard work boot, number 46. But the imprints are twice 8, and yet another standard work boot, number 44. There's an aberration in...
How many? I was pretty off then. I counted 20. I never got the hang of it. Hyperopia. Do you see anything out of the ordinary? A woman or a kid?
Ну вот этот ребенок может быть.
Okay. How do you know?
He knows it's hard to discern sex from a person's gait.
По сути, третья, блядь. Давай третий.
That's okay. Go on.
Вспомнили, потому что первый начал второй.
200? Could it be the combined weight of two people, one carrying the other who's tied up? Let's say a heavily built worker carrying a similarly big...
He might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is unlikely.
Possibly, yes.
But why?
Yes, they could have used a makeshift stretcher or just march him up to the gallows. Even easier to carry on a stretcher, or between two men. Anyway, it's for future consideration. What else can you see? Interesting. Let's name it the Old Soul. Someone operating a workbench with a pedal? Like a joiner at the harbor. Or maybe a drummer? No, it's not. Forget I said it. We are not looking for a drummer. Perhaps it could be a driver. A driver would wear out their right shoe before the left. The accelerator is on the right.
He doesn't seem to hear you, looking south toward the traffic jam instead. The machines are silent.
We should keep our eyes open around the traffic jam. See whether anyone strikes out as a potential suspect. Seems prudent, no? You're right. Let's keep a low profile. A week, maybe? 7 days would fit the time frame provided to us by the caller, who reported.
It is not impossible.
I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Havashol. 7 days below freezing. The day before, the day of his hanging, was the last one.
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would preserve the tracks in a good state. The commotion here could have taken place a week ago.
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy to the tree. One of them was carrying the victim. They shuffled around, especially then, after hoisting him up, they stood in a semicircle facing his direction. At first glance, this appears to be a lynching.
Indeed. They all stood in a row here and looked at them. Yes, everything fits so well. Carried him over, hoisted him up, watched him hang. This is easy. The lieutenant's eyes narrow.
Either way. What else?
Да, пацан, погоним. Заебал.
Kuno's got this.
Ему 40, блядь,
If there ever was such a thing as an ugly kid, then this is it. He's almost exquisite in his ugliness, like a gremlin.
Oh yeah, nappa comfy, Kuno. Right in the dick, Kuno. Get him right in the dick.
Love it in the dick.
The boy is sweating profusely. His eyes are like two black holes and his jaw is twitching as if trying to break free from the empire of his body.
Fuck that, Kuno. Yeah, right in the mouthhole.
Shits himself.
Интересно, что маты не закрывается, а пидоры закрывается. Потому что ЛГБТ-сообщество, пиздец. То есть назвать кого-то пидором это хуже, чем сматериться.
При этом он говорит пэгать, да? Он же сказал пэгать.
Ну да.
Говорит? Ну, либо по-английски пэгать. Не имеется в виду Питер как оскорбление гея. Не знаю. Но обычно фэггот переводится как пидор, а пидор это оскорбление.
The rake, Kuno! You should throw the rake at him, Kuno!
The fuck? Does Kuno know what a rake is? Kuno's not a gardener. Alright, entertain the Kuno. Show me what you got. What you got there? What you got, huh? Show me what you got.
The kid moves his hands like a basketball player dribbling fast.
Картины еще такие классные по этим всем штукам.
Irregular speech patterns, overconfidence. Could this kid be on drugs? This warrants further investigation into this Kuno.
Right, Pig. This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. What do you want with it? Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Shitload, Pig. What's your question?
Don't tell the pig shit, Kuno!
This is where you quickly ask him questions. Real cop questions. Like a cop.
Kuno's fuck imp. Kuno uses the fuck imp for target practice.
He's trying to hide the fact that he doesn't know.
Kuno knows what you meant. Kuno's not a snitch. That's all. Trying to make Kuno sing into the popo phone. Probably climbed. Kuno was busy down the road when that shit went down. You heard Kuno. Kuno wasn't even in Martinez. Kuno wasn't in Revachol. Kuno wasn't regional. I don't know. Some fucking... Mesk or I don't know. Some other place. Night City. Kuno was in fucking Night City.
There is no Night City anywhere. That sounds like the name of a city in some pulp science fiction novel.
Kuno gives this info out on a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know. Kuno didn't smoke the gimp.
Thanks, Kuno. That's one name you can now cross off the list.
Just a couple of pigs sniffing around in the dirt. That seems pretty fucking suspicious to...
Yeah, you tell the faggoty, Kuno!
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost,
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Поздравляем, бачу. О, спасибо. Труп не будем с дерева снимать.
Ну пошли к девочке.
Она съебется сейчас.
Kuno, the pig's getting pretty close to me. Come to snuff my shit out, I think. Looks like it's time for me to go, Kuno. Pig's come to take me in. I'm going away for a long, long time, Kuno.
What's going on there? Fuck are you trying to pull, Pig?
You don't want to fuck with me. I got my hands bloody. I'm not...
You can still see the top of her hat from behind the fence. The corpse looks at you with bulging white eyes. The face around them does not look human. It's swollen and ready to burst. His lip, you seem to be holding your breath. A cargo belt twists his neck at an unnatural angle. The body below appears stiff. It's letting out an ungodly rot. The smell seeps in even through your clenched nostrils. This trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in
У
rags.
него ключ должен быть от него. Мы его...
The body is downwind from here. Maybe you prefer the smell of garbage to the smell of death.
We could try using a pry bar. There's one in my motor carriage, or we could ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He
might also have information. This is better than the pry bar idea.
Хотим какой-то ключ у себя в номере находили, меня глючит. Нет. Ключ от номера. Блять. Просто название отеля и номер. Магний, нихуя. Деньги. Магний для нервов, если что.
Да я все детство ела магний.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite.
Что там?
It's nothing. Someone just left some roofing material slant. Glad you asked. When junior researcher Larry Tal invented Eternite in the Vartner Polytechnic Institute some 30-odd years ago, he thought it would last forever. Hence the name, Eternite. Sadly, the only lasting thing turned out to be...
У нас, насколько я понимаю, сейчас появились аптечки, типа, для здоровья и для ментального состояния. И если, типа, у нас провал будет такой опасный, да, у нас оно должно израсходоваться. Ну ладно. Смотри, со всего мы не будем сливаться. В другой стороне. Так, что, управляющего пойдем доебывать?
Просто конкретно этот... Как это вот назвать, это действие?
Какое?
Откидывание костей, как это назвать?
Ну, это в ДНД это называется проверка на нужное подчеркнуть.
Так вот, мне кажется, это не стоило того, чтобы брать жизнь. Давай, где, подожди. Давай подойдем.
Ну, так, с удостоверением что будем делать?
Давай подойдем.
Of course. What can I help you with?
Я не знаю, блин, давай первый.
Of course. Where to? No problem.
She's very well composed. Back straight.
Of course. I won't hold you back.
If there's a corpse, then you're going to need those gloves for the autopsy.
Sure. Keep them. I have another pair.
Снять надо? Ну чё? Почему вскрывать?
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated.
Active decay. It's okay to throw up, officer. No one is judging.
He's about to blow! Cop's gonna blow, Kuno!
Будем в перчатках гонять, блядь.
Там еще мужик был.
Где? Ну так, удостоверение.
Before you stands a motor carriage. The bodywork is covered in blue and white. Vapor emanates from the large engine This must be the infernal machine that tore you from oblivion. The Caprice Kinema motor carriage. In the cabin, you are welcomed by a set of steering levers, a radio microphone on a hook, a pull-out toolbox under the seat, and the soft glow of the fuel preheated. A scent of leatherwork and heavy fuel oils washes over you. The frequency tableau lights up, and a green button labeled Prime Line. The soft purr of electrical kittens. Radio waves cast far and wide.
This is Precinct 57. Hello, Lieutenant. How may I assist you?
Hello, Alice. Please assist our colleague from the 41st Precinct here.
Operating the radio is easy. Just be confident. You've probably done it 1,000 times.
This is Officer Alice Demetri, Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Under the green Prime Line, a yellow saved button catches your eye. You wonder what the Lieutenant's default radio station is.
Just a second, officer.
Ten 2, 10-5. This is 41st. Come in. Over.
The man uses relay code. You got this. You're a cop, and cops know relay code.
10-4, message received. 10-5, relay message. What's your status? Over. 10-18, state your message, sir.
But you said... never mind.
10-9, over. 10-4, message received. This is a very serious situation. I need to 10-22 the captain. Over.
Is it him? What does he want?
Says he lost his badge and needs to report it.
He what? He lost his badge? Who lost his badge? Dick fucking Mullen. Who do you think?
Dick Mullen, ладно, мы теперь знаем, как его зовут.
It's Officer Dick Mullen from the bestseller Dick Mullen and the Lost Identity.
Dick Mullen is not your name. It's the name of a fictional detective who would not lose. Defend yourself. Immediately. They're laughing at you.
Ten-4, I hear you, officer. I'm just going to make a note here that you are in pursuit of your misplaced badge. Over.
Fuck me. Mac, come here. You've got to hear this. Dick Mullen lost his badge.
What's going on?
Super Cop here lost his...
He lost his what? His badge. He lost his goddamn fucking badge.
10-9, come again. I didn't get that. Over.
New heights even for Captain Sober.
Ask him. Ask him if he's lost his gun too.
Sergeant Orson wants to know if you lost your gun too. Over.
Check your pockets. Check your... Holy fuck. You don't know where it is, do you? Okay, it's gone. Your gun is most definitely gone.
10-9, come in, officer. Did you get my question? We were wondering about your gun. Over.
Lying over the phone, it's easy. Just say it like it's the truth, and then it becomes it.
He says he didn't.
Thank God for that. That would have been a nightmare. I don't even want to imagine the poor prick who has to relay that kind of... Losing his badge is bad enough. Tell him to find it, and fast. We can't have some gangbanger running around with...
We're all glad to hear you've not lost your gun, officer. You need further assistance. Over. Roger that. 10-10. Over and out.
Вытащить ящик. Что там?
A metallic drawer slides out from under the seat and
Take what you need, officer. It's going to be a long case. I'm not protective of my tools, like some men are.
Вот бы все взять на всякий случай. Болторез. Не знаю.
Болторез это такая штука, большие кусачки.
Вот,
которые
нам он нужен, чтобы снять труп.
the handles are long and sleek. Snap, snap, go the cutters in your hand.
Snap.
You can do good work with these.
Можно я?
Cut chains, locks, and ropes, especially
Ну, мы можем
belts.
вроде как все взять.
Давай все возьмем.
The pry bar feels nice and cold in your hand, useful for opening all sorts of doors and lids. It's robust, weatherproof, and well made. Lets you see things in the dark you would otherwise miss. The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. Preheater gauge casts a warm glow on the steering levers and the radio on its hook.
Провести пальцами по ручью.
The white suede feels luxurious under the touch, and the metal clutch handle so your fingers waste no time closing around the handle. Clutch disengaged. Release the handle. Clutch drops. Right foot yearns for the familiar touch of the accelerator pedal. You have synced with the machine's mechanical
Как ты,
circulation.
моя хорошая?
The smell of freshly treated leather, the lack of dirt and dust on the dashboard, and a neat little brush in the cup holder. I'm good, cherished and cared for, in the hands of a tending owner. The handle is pulled back. Somewhere deep inside the drivetrain, the disc is mated to the flywheel again. In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers, a radio on a hook, a pull-out toolbox, and the...
Пошли к мужику подойдем, а потом опять попробуем подойти.
Зверских болторезов ты еще не видел. Рекламу, блин.
Может быть, фонарик, например, поможет нам лучше визуально исследование.
Но только в темных местах. Там, где светло, он бесполезен. Что логично.
I am a gander and a hunter and a gatherer. Feel like a
A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
Слушай дальше.
from another planet. Hey there. It's the jam, my man.
The air from the east is thick with the smell of crude oils, heavy metals and other byproducts of the modern era.
It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight, no explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs agitating, an all-around clusterfuck. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days. Upon days. Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal.
Mazout is an antiquated term for heavy fuel oils. This man has a barely suppressed performative streak, or he just likes unusual words, or both.
Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already. So tell me, what do you need? He ain't one of us drivers. I know that. All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really...
It's easy to see he's telling the truth. He's kept his nose out of the dark stuff.
Analyzing the fundamental structural and psychological conditions of being stranded in the midst of a sea of motor lorries.
Ask for his conclusion.
A sense of surprise there ain't more bodies hanging from more trees. Looks like whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up.
Going on strike would probably help you dodge a bullet or two.
Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town too. Like a strike negotiator type. They know what's up.
Ah, yes, from the Wild Pines. We'll meet her soon enough, I'm sure.
They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side. That's for sure.
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have us lorry drivers. Cam, your nurse. If you still hang around here waiting for this mess to end, most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
He tries his best to look nonchalant, but there's a rigidity in him, as if trying to conceal something warm and deep beneath a cool exterior.
Don't be a stranger.
Пошли еще? Нет, пробуем забор еще раз. Только сохранись.
You see a set of tire tracks in a brown slush.
Пробуем к трупу подойти. Пошли к трупу подойди. Кусачка.
Просто я думал, что мы сначала за ключом сходим, потом сразу сюда, ну ладно.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eye.
Ну а если взять ключ в руки, можно так сделать?
Наверное. Не ключ, в смысле, а...
There he still is. That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already?
Я не знаю. Час.
2 часа уже намного.
An hour would have been bad. 2 hours is mystical. You have truly wiped out all trace of yourself if you haven't thought about rum and lemonade yet.
Да, я не знаю. На самом деле мне интересно реально это все раскрыть преступление, поэтому давай-ка второй.
Maybe you haven't turned out well for your drinking. Have you thought about that? Get a goddamn rum and lemonade into yourself, boy. Or better yet, lick that stain off the count. Calmly, the lieutenant looks out of the window, then to you, licking the tape.
What are you doing? We should move.
You could definitely go for some more. The titillating scent of alcohol in your nostrils.
Кстати, вот как думаешь, на каких наркотиках были колобки?
На спидах, конечно. Шеф, по крайней мере, точно.
Идем дальше.
A colorful piece of plastic is dangling from his carabiner. Makes your fingers itch. On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine. The man does not mind. You probably need them more.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is stored in the bottom left corner of the screen above your character portrait. Use magnesium to heal your morale, if you have morale damage.
It's a dock worker's ID, doubling as a shift card and a job permit. A young, able-bodied man stares back at you from the photo. Santiago S. John. You fumble the spring-loaded gate of the carabiner, but to no effect. Like fucking sleigh bells. What are you doing? You're gonna get caught.
Stop finger-fucking him, officer! I'm responsible for these oafs and their stuff. Even Sleepy there.
Ну давай третье, бля. Что, хоть второе?
Бармен, блядь. Ну давай третье.
Yes, sure. A criminal.
To be honest, he's correct. Police officers generally don't.
It was just an idea. Come on, relax, everyone. It didn't turn out well. Doesn't mean it was a bad idea, or that you shouldn't appropriate. The man with the unimpressive beard noticed.
Mr. Gart, right?
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from
Погоди.
Prison 57.
Мы в
This
том
is an
сохранении,
inter-district
получается, с ним еще не
investigation.
поговорили,
So
реально?
joining me from Prison 41.
Еще в активном поиске имени.
Fantastic.
Не мешай.
Right. Now, I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene. It also.
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie.
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
This sounds like something you can use.
You said you just got here. From where?
What, of Martinez? No. I live in Jam.
But you still know your way around.
Yes, I know where some things are, but as
I didn't imply that.
He probably means this is where you step in and ask your questions. His face expresses. Ask him about the body's location before asking if he...
Haven't you asked me that already? What? Okay, you got me. She went away.
Thank you.
I asked an employee out. She didn't want to come, but felt obliged to.
Damn.
It was a bad idea. Now, what is so goddamn fascinating about that for you? Good for you. Was there something else? I'd like to get back to what I was doing. I don't know who killed him. I'm not the police. That's your job.
Первое, давай первое.
What are you, crazy? Of course I didn't kill him.
У него такое лицо, что хочется ему всякие такие вопросы.
Let's go.
Not so fast. You owe me 130 real.
О.
Oh, excuse me.
The IIR, or Inter-Isolary Real.
No, you don't owe me street cred. What are you, a philosopher? Money is what grown-up people use to pay for things. Things like... Yes, it is. No, you see, that's 40 cents. It is.
Isn't it evil? The order...
It does, doesn't it?
There's a shuffle of nylon as Lieutenant Kitsuragi looks...
Let's see. Another thing you've annihilated is half the bar. You've run a tab of 30 real. Actually, more, but we'll round it down to 30 for your hard work maintaining the stability and... You can't arrest me. I haven't done anything.
Блять. Что, попробуем?
The words leave your mouth as if walking up the stairs. Everything is going fine until you reach the end and take one step too many.
Слит и попущен, блять.
Oh, so apparently I'm a bitch now. Okay, I'll be the bitch, and you'll be the broke cop who owes...
Sir, leash in your tongue. Officer, you need to contact your station. Ask your people for assistance with the money you owe this place. There is a...
I'm sorry, but I can't let him stay here if he doesn't pay. He's 3 days on the slip. If he doesn't have the money by tonight, he'll have to work this from home.
Пытающаяся на улице.
No, there's no need. Let's go.
The cafeteria manager stands silently behind the counter. By the way, where is home? The address is coming up blank, and this place sure isn't. But you've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. Why did you say that?
No. But isn't that an expression, not a place? A saying. Up on Marvel Hill, a great hype.
That doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money.
Давай уже второе, похуй.
Entertain the thought when you get the time. Maybe being a hobo and a cop.
Так, у нас повышение уровня. Статус бомжиков. Мне не хочется это изучать.
Усвоить или нет?
Ну, -1 самообладание.
А, ну ладно, не надо. Что еще можно?
Так, ну у нас level up. А, понял. То есть у нас есть ветки навыков, зависящие от базовых вот этих вещей. Ну, мы можем стать еще более энциклопедичными маньяками, например.
Ну, мне кажется, у нас
Или более концептуальными. С чем проблема?
У нас проблем с энциклопедией, по-моему, нет, а вот с чем-то другим.
Так мы же никогда не, блять, это пока что для нас вообще рандомно. Так, причем повысить мы не можем. Вот эти базовые вещи, они у нас всегда будут одинаковые.
Ну что там риторика? Может, риторика?
Давай. Я тут, ладно.
Риторику надо включить.
Так, чё, к мусорке? А, погоди. Что-то я запутался в наших сохранениях, честно говоря. Мы к мусорке ходили же?
Ну, да, мы ходили, но у нас не было ключа. Мы
у нас
ключ
есть...
должны были попросить.
Ну, давай попросим, попробуем. И мне кажется, он нас нахуй сейчас пошлет.
Can I help you?
Вот. Мусорный бак.
Mine? No, it belongs to the whirling and...
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep...
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors...
I thought as much. And are you the...
Well, yes. Us and...
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you.
Интересно, что...
Prod at him and find out.
Какое третье, блядь?
What do you need them
Мы и
for?
так уже, блядь,
It
написали.
concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back once you're done, please.
Ну?
Видел кое-что в танце.
What thing? Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. Just the nastiest. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info. We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even striking...
There are these things called days. You sleep between them. He's saying they'll come after you've slept. Just making clear you got that.
What are you, a cook now? That's none of your business.
Это напоминает мне, блядь, как мне в техпот один раз звонит чел, короче. Здравствуйте. Это самое... Я в доставку пиццы попал. Я говорю, нет, вы в интернет-провайдеры попали. Он говорит, а вы можете мне заказать пиццу? Я очень хочу кушать. Я ему говорю, подключишь интернет, закажу. Нет, до свидания, бросил трубку. Сука. Что? Бомж-повар полицейский.
He wasn't pan-fried, he was lynched. What could the kitchen possibly have to do with... Fine, okay. The kitchen is closed until 1 p.m. because the cook is working. You can snoop around after that, if you must. What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later.
Насчет денег. Ну, вдруг там что-то интересное.
Yes, have you got it?
Так. Давай-ка лучше поговорим.
Like what? I was really enjoying talking about the money you owe me.
Goodbye.
Так, нам ключи дали. В мусор залезем.
Не, ну в таких играх быстрое сохранение делать, это, конечно... Да. По-моему, освещение поменялось.
Ну так день
This
идет, типа.
trash container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rags. With a well-oiled crack, the lock don't. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't. Of course you should. This is your time to shine, Hobo Cop. Dive into that dumpster for extra. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
Первое.
You see milk and egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. You've done this before. The movements are recorded in your elbows, the methodology in your fingers. You're used to this. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages, but among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If did, drop them in here, officer. Guitar marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there?
Something slimy catches your eye. A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
This is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt.
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. Just go.
All right. We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force.
The fuck's he on about, kids? You hear that, Kuno? He thinks you're an infant or something.
See? Not really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked and his establishment had the key. It's just...
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container. It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato peels, mostly. Unidentified sludge. And what's this? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and...
Officer, is that your paperwork? It is. Look, the plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form in there. If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash? What are you talking about?
Можно до талого давить. Всегда практически.
Я помню, не видел. Не знаю.
I don't know either. You should take stock of your notes. Make sure it's all there. Official notes contain informants' names. If some have fallen into the hands of the RCM's adversaries, bloodletting may well ensue. It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
Some items, such as the ledger you found, are interactable. Go to your inventory and select the Interact tab to read your paperwork.
Wow, an Armistice caliber 50 knock cannon, half wrapped in paper tissues. So shiny. It's a giant rifle, and it's very expensive. Not as expensive as that fat string of pearls snaking around the rotten banana peels, however. And is that Cordon Electric's preamp with Electra F2 tubes? It is. That catches quite a price. We're talking 12,000. Easy. Unless you're into hi-fi yourself. That's too bad, because none of those things are actually in there. There's just food waste and crisp wrappings. All you see is a broken mug with a racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron. Only in its social sensibility.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab in your inventory.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell. There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper. It's a metaphor for you. Thank you, waterlogged ledger, for spelling it out for us. It's just toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want.
Сука, не, ну эта игра гениальна, знаешь, в своей детализации, блядь.
Still wet, the toilet paper peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off with your finger and voila! The ledger now looks marginally better. An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know. Looks like an official mark, made to be low visibility outside the right circumstances.
What? That thing. It's a halogen watermark. We use it for adding information to RCM property. It depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
Maybe yours will have how many cases you've solved.
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do. All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen watermarks. Mine too.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand, it's a sorry sight. They're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches by sunlight and alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes. Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled work, strife, poverty, the general quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages. And it's the middle of March. You have attempted 2 cases a week. What do you mean? Is that all?
Мы рассматриваем светлые страницы в журнале.
Понимаю. Принцип наименования.
Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has a title, one might say even. One that draws inspiration from snoop fiction and vespertine cop show staples. Yes, all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Mural.
Квадратная пуля,
Another yet,
Мне кажется,
The
классное
Unsolvable
название
Case.
для группы «Квадратная пуля».
Незакрываемое дело.
Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the hookah parlor. Even the it's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene? Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, it's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves. Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. I pray his loved ones never find out. Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident. Huh? 2 complex cases to undertake is a lot, yes. You really have to push yourself. I would not suggest it, lest you start making mistakes. 2? That's a lot. I didn't mean to say you are making mistakes, by the way. That was presumptuous of me. It's okay. We all make mistakes.
Like a fan of gills, the checkered papers dry in your hand. The handwriting is extremely dense, if there is, for precisely 1 more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. Once all the tasks are accomplished, the case is complete. Sadly, the ledger only comes with an old, worn-down. The ledger only comes with an old, worn-down lead pencil. It will do, barely. But onto the paper with a brash free hand, uncannily similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost inspect the victims, interview the cafeteria manager. It's not exactly poetry, but poetry would be out of. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're a swashbuckler with that pen, Harry, and it feels good. Feels like completion.
Как заранее продумать, что твой боевой дух поднимет, а что опустит? Ну, типа, только по ходу игры начнешь понимать.
Things to be done and things already done, the composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the citizens' militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
Почему он сказал детектив, а тут написано милиция? Интересно.
No, actually. Any ideas?
Так и что?
Ну, я не знаю, честно говоря.
Говно на палке.
Ah,
У тебя есть чай?
yes.
Или уже нет?
I have to tell you, officer, I don't appreciate ironic titles. Other officers will have to use this as reference. If it's idiot or cockfinger, they're not going to get it. They're going to think an idiot and a cockfinger were on this case. So, do you have something less funny?
Демоны ярости.
Furies? Yes, well, I don't know. I have to be honest, I'm not experiencing the internal Could you make it less poetic somehow? Just a normal case name, you know?
Yes, yes, you know what that normal name is, but it's so plain. Anything else, please?
Okay, it's a good name, but it has one problem. This case has something more concrete, perhaps? Do you have something concrete? Mundane, usual.
Да он задолбал, пятое, блин.
Oh, well, then maybe I can suggest one.
Третье, блядь.
Oh, that's actually what I was thinking. The Hanged Man. I like that. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
Явно изучался.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
Пролистать желтые страницы.
In the back, you see thin, translucent copy of paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red, all covered in boxes. Then rip them from the binder and hand them out. According to 3, the topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are station. You don't have to be an intellectual giant to do police work. A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe, but they appear pleasantly vague. These are quite sinister in tone. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station, all in a print so small it could be considered downright cute. A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form. Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. The rest of the stuff in cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copy. It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there, and something small inside? Light, made permeables. It's not hidden per se. The compartment is made for permeable materials that would get down. The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through. You cannot see to it. With your hands, U4 sized pages hang from the clip, screwed to the top of the board. The acidic stench of rotting food is rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of humor, like the bits they put into public piss bowls, probably called Fermi Discrete, or Axel, or something. At some point in its journey, the ledger has seen the inside of a public toilet.
Эти хозяйственные. Умывашка для унитаза, для чего-нибудь еще с запахом, блядь, цитруса или морской волны, это просто... Ну, вот,
мы знаем про твою боль и про вонялки в машинах тоже знаем.
какому именно?
Remember when I said the smell of the upstairs bathroom was so rank they should have sent a poet to describe it? Why, yes it is, among many other things. This cleaning tablet is used by the whirling in rags. Perhaps that's where the ledger was dropped in the toilet. By you.
Давай уберем журнал. Сохранимся.
И вернемся к журналу.
Да. Что там слишком важная информация, чтобы
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
То есть вот это мы не будем, да? Просто то, что видишь серое, мы уже смотрели. Тут загорается новое.
Arson, petty theft, spousal abuse, handwritten logs on dozens of investigations date back to January 51. Stamped case files, commit to paper. These are your last couple of months in Revachol, Precinct 41, Jamrock Quarter. The notebook is annual. It says 51 on what remains of its cover. A molten strap of cardboard. Everything prior to this must have belonged to a... You don't exactly close them. So much as, yes, you can piece them together using the alphanumeric code on the margin. It always begins with HDB 41. Then, date of initialization and time of arrival on the scene, followed by the title. For example, HDB 411. Why, yes, your precinct number is 41. Every last alphanumeric in the files begins with it. And these are your case files. It's safe to say HDB are your initials.
Ого. Не ого?
А что? Ты ого хочешь назвать?
I got nothing here either. Logic really isn't the best faculty to have. It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Where do you want to start?
Блядь, прям серьезно. Мы же пока над этим делом работаем. Почему с другим?
Потому что он хочет систематизировать. Любит систематизировать человек. Да, господи, давай.
Ты хочешь?
Ну да. Давай журнал тут добьем хотя бы.
Ну, блин, я бы хотела, наоборот, по этому делу пойти, а не по журналу. Давай вернемся к этому позже.
Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the
Может, там наше удостоверение лежит, блядь.
Или пистолет. Маленький такой, да.
The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just, you know.
Ты смеешься с нахуй?
Я смеюсь с того, в каком месте это возникает.
Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The two ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Так, 5 билеты.
Two octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. Thin wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns. It smells of chewing gum. A touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think the label says Tutti Frutti. Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make your hand shakes holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. You. Every step I take will get lighter. It almost makes me run. Sometimes I do. I can't believe I met you. Kisses, kisses, kisses. You feel the air sucked out of your lungs and the blood sucked out of your head. Everything around you gets dark. Sparks fall like snow from the bow collector. A streak. You feel the ledger slip from your hand. No. Hold on. To what? There's nothing.
Detective, is everything all right?
There is nothing. Again. Well, almost nothing. There is the ground below you. That's still there. And the small light, that's me. Blue eyes, that's me. Who was what?
He speaks of the sickening longing, the unwell emotion. Even in the darkness, he's grasping for it. Still trying. Here in the paleo-mammalian cortex, we call it the shadow. Because it's always there.
Tell him.
Ah, yes. In the olfactory system, they call it the apricot chewing gum scented one. It's unhealthy of them to linger on it. It didn't smell nice. It smelled like betrayal.
Bloated corpse of the past resurfacing.
Beautiful. Believe me, stupid ape, its lack of beauty was not the problem.
There is no Voyager Road. There are no roads, no houses, no lights in the windows. It's all on pause. Yeah, man. What was that about? You think they would let you? Until you disintegrate into biomolecules? No. Someone is breathing on your face now.
Yes, they're pouring something.
It's delicious. Glowing lights on a dashboard emerge out of nothingness. In the upholstered cabin of Lieutenant Kitsuragi's motor carriage, seated in the driver's basket, the air...
Drink. Water.
The water is cold, silvery, the stuff of life itself, as it pours down your parched throat.
Drink. You haven't drunk water in 2 days. Did you know the human body is not made to survive on alcohol alone? You need...
Actually, beer and cider have loads of water in them.
But these are not the Franco-Nigerian centuries. We are in the present. It is safe to sometimes drink water.
With greedy gulps, you down half a liter of cold water. Some of it spills on...
What happened? Right. You dropped these. Are you okay to proceed? Good.
The Ledger of Failure and Hatred is a special item that can be used both as an interactable and a tool equipped in your held slot for skill bonuses. Find it
Ага. Ну, это наш журнал. Теперь он, мы с ним не можем взаимодействовать, а мы его теперь как инструмент можем использовать. Ну, типа того.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal
Ну, мы хотели его... У нас вот здесь вот покосило, блядь. Кстати. Сейчас. Так, сохранимся.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the
Точно, нам надо пары на машине зажечь.
Вот, да.
Давай его возьмем в руку.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers,
Мы знаем,
a
что он
radio
ударит,
microphone,
тоже хорошо.
a pull-out toolbox, and the soft...
All right. Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
The dashboard lights up with orange glow, like a leopard waking from its sleep. The lights unfold with a little click, casting...
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appeared.
There she is. Revachol West.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of The rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Kanema's headlights.
Let me see. Right here. It has its problems.
There are many of them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows. The first row has 18 dots. Not bad for what? You don't even know what it means yet. The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the board. You count 216 perforations. Considering that nice, large number, a wave of pride. The last row has 3 perforations. That's it.
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep
alpha male officers who are proud of their numbers.
The first row represents your years of service. 18 years. Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered? That's what it says. I might have guessed even longer based on your age. What did you do all those blissful years of your youth? Cool. I'm glad you joined us. Not a lot of money in doom crying. Let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Wow, more than 200. It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers. Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there. For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is... There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen, but it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for.
The lieutenant nods.
Right. I'll go turn off the lights.
You can now see your statistics on your journal page.
Я думаю, это к чему-то должно привести. Ну ладно, разбираться некуда. Так, и у нас еще... Поебемся с кружкой или смотри, у нас...
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board with the permit.
Короче, мы знаем, что нас зовут Гарри. Это уже неплохо. Осталось еще фамилию узнать.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board with the permeables drawer in. Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. Inside, it's slightly, ever so slightly, difficult to breathe once you've done so. It takes about half an hour to piece one together. Using the system you've devised, it would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square shape. That's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square shaped. Who knows? Those pages are... One day you may still catch the man with the square gun. This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a cause of failure, rent too high. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text, true love is possible, only in the next world, for new people. People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the bell lectures have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility. The case files do not show you finding the author of the crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 40. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villa Lobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options, a staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next world for new people, and it is too late for us.
Еще есть вариант. Yeah.
Did anyone ask you what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger? What do you want to tackle next? Or are we done? AKA Leslie and Burke, AKA the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk, is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change their nature. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features. You would think that, but you're wrong. Where's the fun in exposing your genitals or breaking stuff in your own home? No. Can you keep yourself off the streets? Threatening fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemiaki. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill, every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, on the corner of... No, that's Burke. Leslie's stick is flashing his genitals, remember? How will you ever solve the unsolvable case if you can't even get that straight? Well, turns out it's pretty simple. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your leg. He must have confused it with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. You're also drunk. Drunk out of your mind on potent Pilsner. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face, then proceed to beat him unconscious with it.
Ну, это вот как раз таки этот самый Кроненбург последний, который мы брали, это вот он и есть.
In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it. But he came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. Can't get out of his apartment. An invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke. Who knows? Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one? Some assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an insufferable dicks. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn they were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations. They took it to where they also took cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up. And you did. So no, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. Murder. Tum 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 at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead. Officer beaten to death by a throng of Villalobos gang members when him and his partner J.M., only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story. Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve. Was doing it solo. Said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister. Was on it for, like, a month. The Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had. No, he was awful. Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey. Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah. Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day. Yeah, really lame. So anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one enters, no one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin. Movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply, and you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom. Yeah, he liked his hookah. Stephen was his name. Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, that was murder. Not much has changed in...
У нас еще кружка. Я не думаю, что у него будет настолько, блядь, глобальная история.
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much. Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed-away mug that you dug out of the garbage?
Блин, гениально.
Второе.
So again, you dug it out of the trash. Why? It wasn't going to offend anyone there. It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? But it will not happen. The mug talk is...
Yeah.
It's just a racist mug.
Понял. Погоди, у нас что? Еще? Хочешь, чтобы риторику еще выше подняли? Пожалуйста. Так, ну что?
Пойдем на кухню с этим?
А, да, после 13 же. Чё какой-то образовался.
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign... Okay, it's definitely not his name. Whatever you do, please don't call him Goranci Quebec. Please. It's not funny. The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air.
Блять! Это в стиле... Помнишь фильм «Револьвер», кажется? Там типа сын босса какого-то, который в коляске был. О, батя, здорово!
Это не револьвер был, это рок-н-ролльщик был.
Рок-н-ролльщик. У тебя охуенные колеса.
Знаешь, когда у меня настроение хорошее, когда лабы принимают, начинается какая-то подобная хуйня. Ну, типа, они пишут, ну, там, налили в колбу 250 миллилитров, вот я такой, о, целых 250 миллилитров.
Бля, я потом вот это лицо делаешь, да, вот?
Не, ну, у меня, блин, я такую уродскую бороду еще никогда не могу отрастить.
Бак.
He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his
Ah,
pots in turn. It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove. The man ponders his cooking utensils and
Подожди, нажми на то.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue. The cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. The stained old cobalt paint, rough on the fingers. 40, 50 years since. It leads to a side building, adjacent to this one. The old building next to this, half ruined. Whatever is behind it.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you...
The winch. Outside. In the backyard. Remember? No.
На дворе, кстати.
Your fingers do.
Well, If there was a winch, I suppose we could...
It's hardly a side investigation. You already have a name for it.
Right.
It's hardly worth a title. Anyway, Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
The door does not budge.
Can I help you?
А, мы ему обещали вернуть ключ, кстати.
Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for.
Мы еще за шмотки должны его спросить.
Да.
How strange. I certainly didn't put them there.
Ну, третий вопрос логичный, как бы. Хотя он говорил, что вывозящих мусор.
Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my stuff. None of us would tamper with the crime scene.
А есть счет?
Да, видно было бы.
The trash collection service, CS Municipal.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little... Thank you anyway.
Yes. Another thing. Great. I love those. Oh, yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door. No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about... So, I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though. After the animals. And I haven't found a key, so good luck. Yes?
У нас же есть какие-то
У нас
инструменты.
монтировка есть.
Может, правую руку?
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted. You see a heavy... The man ponders his cooking utensils. He looks up at you, then looks away. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door.
Им, давай, говори, блядь.
Yes?
Мы же не говорили с ним, да? В нашем новом сохранении.
No response. He's having trouble processing it.
Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affairs? Fine. We should get through this day first. Off hours begin at 9 p.m. If you're still having trouble then, I can give you an orientation. Focus on other people's troubles.
A moment passes. The lieutenant glances at the sports watch.
Просто херачили задание.
Зачем нам тогда эти инструменты, если мы ими не можем пользоваться?
Ну, мы предполагали, что мы без ключа будем бак открывать, и вообще тут хотели спустить на землю.
Ну, у нас так не получилось. Может быть, там какими-то кнопками?
Мы тут ничего не прочекали, кстати, в итоге.
inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite. Because there's a secret door hidden behind the panels of Eternite. That's why they're two. There it is. You see a shabby little door.
What is this then? A tool shed?
Нет, не нули, точно.
Let's investigate.
Что ты заинтересовался-то резко? Неинтересно ж было нихуя. Лестница. А. Чё?
Be still, my beating heart. It's amphetamine. The lieutenant isn't studying the powder. There's a good vague way to ask where he stands on drug use. Professionally, I mean.
Perhaps not. This is below our pay grade, detect. See that ladder there? It's probably another way into the industrial.
Так мы скоро и на гостиницу денег не собираем, блядь. Так, что за одежда? Так.
Просто типа лестница.
А, вот он, второй этаж. Продать еще можно будет.
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging. When the wind ruffles the cloak, you can most definitely see a white rectangle on its back.
Yes, it's probably yours. It bears the RCM insignia, and you have a hat. You could probably make the jump. You look like you've done some track and field in your day.
Подожди, я не
Понятно.
The wind is aggressive up here. The lieutenant looks at the enormous crane towering in the distance. That machine is a Kvalsund 1020 HK.
Yes, that's one way of putting it. It's certainly an impressive achievement, but I digress. We were focusing on your cloak here.
The wind is aggressive up here. The lieutenant looks at the enormous... That machine is a Kvalsund.
Is it? Kvalsund makes a lot of heavy equipment, but I digress. We were focusing on your cloak here. The cloak? I do think it's yours, yes. Well, it doesn't seem too dangerous.
The cloak looks like a bag of goodies floating in the wind. Who knows what the pockets may hide.
Нам вообще-то нужен этот плащ. Ну, было бы неплохо, блядь, нормально туда выйти. Можем просто потратить.
Tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught on the railing.
Я чувствую, мы убьемся, блядь.
Nope, no. That's still too high. What were you thinking? You're not a gymnast. You're a boxer. And you've climbed way too high up there. You could have died there. Shit, shit, shit.
Hey, hey! What happened? I understand. We can always come back when you are feeling better. It's just a cloak after all.
Ну, будем загружаться.
Давай.
Я думаю, есть более безопасный способ. Странное настроение, потому что совершенно несчастный. Подожди. Может быть,
Нам нужно опять.
странно.
Подожди, а вот тут вот какая-то дверь.
Так это мы через этот люк туда залезли. Че куртка выглядит так, будто ее можно и так достать.
В смысле, вот сейчас подожди. Вот, нажми сюда, например. Нет. Ну, в смысле, пройти не можешь?
Это второй этаж этой штуки.
А.
Мы там только что были.
There he still is, looking right through you with his wife.
Слушай, ну, мы можем... У нас сейчас автосохранение есть?
The smell is repulsive. It pushes in from your mouth, more instant and more familiar than...
Ну, может, после этого мы сможем с ним взаимодействовать?
You feel a great force ringing from your stomach until a pool of vomit lies. The smell of Commodore Red rises from the pool. Among it, distilled spirit and bits of shish kebab.
It's okay. Happens to everyone. Keep it. The hangover is clearly making this worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear your head. If you can handle the headache, some officers use it to deal with cadaverine odor. I can't handle the headache.
It's more likely he can handle the smell, unlike you.
There is fruit nearby, east of the hostel. They usually have a small... There's a greenhouse here, and a gardener with a wheelbarrow on the corner of the whirling in rags.
Pretty clever.
Acquiring ammonia will provide a modifier to the white check. Modifiers make checks easier and allow you to retry them.
Дальше играем или что, или...
Ну, давай с трупом попробуем разобраться.
It's raining again. It was clear just an hour ago.
На шатыре это, блядь, на шатыре, это на шатырный спирт.
Sure, I'm done with it. Go easy on that stuff. It gave me a terrible headache. Excuse me? Oh, well...
You didn't say she wrote it. You asked what it was doing there.
Sir, it was...
The timidness is gone for a second. Something else.
Okay.
Ну, там надпись какая-то была. Без цвета.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes.
Но, видимо, мы должны это смочь перебороть.
There he still is, looking right. The ammonia only makes it worse. The combination forces the second time, not so much. When the vomiting is done, your cheeks are wet with tears.
Nor does the wind right now. I've seen strong men turn themselves inside out for hours. You are facing tough odds here. Alcohol withdrawal makes it considerably harder. I've seen captains puke their guts out. It never gets easier. You never get used to the smell. Every Monday he's gotta then drive to the station. Maybe throw up on the way there if you didn't bag the thing tight enough. I think I've lost my sense of smell.
A white lie.
Not being hungover helps too. No. This is a two-man assignment because it needs 2 officers. You need to get your shit together.
Блядь.
We should go talk to the locals. Find something else to do while the wind changes. It's pretty...
You've gained a thought. When this dialogue is over, go to your thought cabinet.
Give it half an hour. Get yourself together. Then come back and have...
Все, тогда давай на сегодня заканчивать.